And we start with the Fox News alert. You've been seeing this video for over a week. The suspect in the murder of the UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson has now been officially charged.
Brooke Singman breaks it down for us for all we know, and we know a lot. Brooke.
Yeah, we do, guys. Good morning. So the suspected killer remains behind bars in Pennsylvania this morning. Luigi Mangione, on your left here, is now charged in the killing of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson 6 days ago in Midtown Manhattan. The suspect now faces several charges. So in New York, he's been charged with second-degree murder, along with 3 other gun-related charges. And in Pennsylvania, he faces 5 more charges, including forgery, carrying a gun without a license, and lying about his identity to officers. His arrest came after a tip from a McDonald's more than 230 miles from Manhattan in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Authorities say the 26-year-old was carrying a gun believed to be the one used to shoot Thompson. Local officials hailing the employee who made the call to authorities as a hero. Listen.
In some dark corners, this killer is being hailed as a hero. Hear me on this. He is no hero. The real hero in this story is the person who called 911 at McDonald's this morning.
Mangione also had clothing and a mask similar to those worn by the shooter when police arrested him Monday, as well as writings suggesting ill will toward corporate America. New York City Mayor Eric Adams speaking to the arresting officer yesterday.
Hey, Tyler.
I guess we found your guy.
Yes, we as New Yorkers, we appreciate it. And you just did a great job, heads up policing. You took a dangerous person off the street. We thank you so much.
It was great to do.
More than happy to do it. I can't say I was expecting it waking up this morning.
Meanwhile, a former roommate of Mangione says he can't believe Luigi is the man suspected of pulling off this heinous crime. Watch this.
Unfathomable, knowing the kind, person that I saw and knew. I remember he said he had a back issue and he was hoping to get stronger in Hawaii. It also weighed on him that he knew that there was an impending surgery.
Several questions still remain surrounding the shooter's motive as police in both states continue to investigate the case. Ainsley, over to you.
It's so strange, Brooke. On his X account, there's a picture of an X-ray. We don't know if that's his surgery, but it has some hardware in this person's back. So apparently in chronic back pain constantly, according to residents that he lived with in Hawaii. But we'll get to that. Thank you so much, Brooke. Great job. All right, who is this guy? He's from a prominent Italian-American family in Maryland. His grandparents started a few country clubs. They also own some healthcare facilities and real estate companies. And according to friends in Hawaii, he wanted to distance himself from this wealthy life. His family on social media said that they were shocked. They were devastated. Now, then his school, he went to the Gilman School, which is in Baltimore. Now, that is a very prominent school. It's all boys. He was there from 6th grade until graduation. He graduated in 2016. It costs about $40,000 a year to send your children there. And many senators, many governors graduated from the Gilman School. His friends called him likable, athletic, studious, on the quiet side, had an interest in technology and robotics, and he was the valedictorian of his high school. And we're going to show you a clip of that valedictorian speech in just a second. He thanked his parents and he thanked his faculty. Then he goes on to have an Ivy League education, goes to UPenn with a bachelor's and a master's degree, graduated 4 years ago in 2020 with a computer science degree, and he minored in mathematics. He was a member of the Phi Kappa Psi fraternity. Then he goes to Hawaii. That was his last place of residence, and people that he lived with in the surf break co-living community said he was in chronic back pain constantly. He's been estranged from some of those friends. Apparently, he left like 2 years ago. That was the last time he had that address. But then he went back, I'm reading in some of the reports, started a book club. Many people left that book club because they didn't agree with some of the book choices. The NYPD is saying his writings expressed anger at corporate America. There's a 3-page manifesto where he was complaining about the healthcare industry. He said, "These parasites had it coming. I do apologize for any strife and trauma, but it had to be done." So he's an anti-capitalist. He had some leanings on his Facebook page or some of his social media that leads us to believe that.
Right. And of course, you mentioned he was valedictorian. Here's a little of his speech from high school.
The people in our lives, especially our parents and teachers, had such huge roles as well. I'd like to personally thank each of you for sending your sons here, as I can't imagine the class of 2016 without any one of these men on stage. Further, thank you for all the time and love you've put into our lives. You've instilled values in us, fed and clothed us, and simply been there for us every step of the way.
It's so surprising to people who know him, that he's the guy, because it's like, are you kidding? He was a very popular guy. He had it all going for him. There you can see after he was arrested. You know, it's one of those things where his image, the image of that person, the suspect, in that mask flashed around the world. And then when he pulled down the mask you saw that just a couple of days ago. And then when he pulled down the mask at that hostel in New York, right there, to flirt with the clerk, reportedly, people got a good look at it. So it sounds like he made one fatal mistake yesterday, and that was he was at this McDonald's, not far from the Greyhound bus station in Altoona, and he was over on the side, as far away from the counter as possible, and he pulled down his mask. He was wearing the surgical mask there. He pulled down his mask to eat. You got to do that. And somebody, it sounds like a customer, saw that person and then discreetly went over, talked to somebody who was working at that McDonald's and said, I think that's the guy. They called the cops. The rest is history.
So I talked to someone high up in the NYPD Police Department. They essentially said, look, before they captured him, they had everything but his identity, fingerprints, DNA. They had things that show that he was an activist in that sense, and they were getting closer and closer. And it was just old-fashioned style police work, put out an image, get it to the public, and see if they can track this person down. And they did that. So it just goes to, show if you see something, you say something. But the question is, Brian, that the family members, friends, people that were close to him, not recognize the photo that was put out there for all of us to see?
Yeah, the family's going to make a statement shortly. Everybody knows him. Evidently, they got a huge charity. They have a huge, it looks like a huge club there that they converted in the 1980s. So they're of wealth. He's got a BA. He's got a master's. He seems to have everything. But something went wrong when he left Hawaii, it seems. And he came back. He didn't even go to the same place, didn't keep in touch with the same friends. And I see this one posting on social media where he has a lot of nutritional things on there. He says, one of his friends, he's supposed to be, I guess, at the wedding. Hey, I need you to call me. I don't know if you're okay in just or just in an isolated place, but I haven't heard from you in months. You made commitments to me for my wedding, and if you can't honor them, I need to know so I can plan accordingly.
Wow.
And just another note, Eric Adams brought up something that is way overdue. You have to have a mask law. There's no reason for this guy to be wearing a mask, right? So you have to, if you go indoors, you got to take that mask off. If you go into a cab, you got to take the mask off. He's going to push Hochul to make a statewide rule about masks because people are using that to their advantage to commit crimes.
Mostly the criminals.
NYPD said that he gave the Unabomber's Manifesto a rave review. He wrote 13 reviews on books on Google Reads, and he follows on X Edward Snowden, Joe Rogan, AOC. They say his writings expressed anger at corporate America. Hats off to the person who recognized him, because I have to be honest, the pictures of you see right now, I don't think that looks like the guy that had the hood, that had the mask.
I think it's the eyebrows.
I wouldn't have recognized him.
When I was talking to the cops yesterday, they said the eyebrows were the bushy eyebrows is what got them to figure out who it was. Right. I will say this, he did have another manifesto that was set to be released on YouTube that has since been brought down.
That's right.
He had it, sometimes you can go in the background of YouTube and schedule a post to be blasted out there. YouTube is not going to let
it was supposed to be blasted out at 6:45 last night.
Not the handwritten one they found on him.
Exactly. That was 3 pages. We've got some new additional details. Apparently, when he was apprehended at the McDonald's, he was found with $8,000 in cash, $2,000 in foreign currency. And the suspect said about that, I don't know where that money came from. It must have been planted. I don't have that kind of cash. And so you mentioned a moment ago that his X account features an X-ray of somebody who's had back fusion surgery. And you mentioned how when he lived in Hawaii, one of the managers there said that chronic back pain impacted everything in his life. He says, including his ability to have a romantic life or enjoy surfing. And what's interesting is when you think about, and the manifesto talks about greed and in the healthcare industry, That guy's 26 years old. What happens when you are 26 years old? You are knocked off of your parents' health insurance in many cases. We don't know if he was on his parents' health insurance, but that is, you can have your kids on it until 26. If he's been impacted back by that, was that part of it? And when you, apparently, according to the cops here in New York, when you read his 3-page note that he was found with, and it was handwritten because he didn't want a digital trail, it echoes what was found on those 3 gun casings, about deny and all that other stuff. And it looks literally like he was caught red-handed. He had the gun, he had the note, he had the fake ID, and he's got the face.
Well, the big thing now is going to be, since this was done in Manhattan, it will be Alvin Bragg's case to try between the court. The cops that I speak to want the feds to step in. Now, of course, in New York State, there is no death penalty. But assuming that the trial starts to begin, it will be back in the Trump administration, and they will have the death penalty back on the table. Currently, the feds have removed the death penalty under the Biden administration. Yeah. But if the Southern District of New York gets the case and Pam Bondi is the attorney general, the death penalty will be back in play.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhardt. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.